My love note for you today is I just need to vent. I remember in Jacques' last couple of years that Queen's song, Under Pressure, it kept running through my mind. I kept thinking, if we can just get through this crisis, this hospitalization, this challenge, that things would get better. But those things just kept piling up and the pressure was enormous. At times, I felt guilty because I couldn't wish, hope, or pray enough to make him feel better. I felt guilty because I would get upset with him for things way beyond his control. I felt frustrated because I'd given up my business and my profession to care for him. All this and much more kept building up to the point where, although my focus was on him, I started to fall apart. I realized that I needed to talk to someone, but I didn't know who. And I felt guilty taking time away from his care to care for me. Then a miraculous blessing came into my life when my best friend from high school knocked at my door. I hadn't seen her for many years because she'd moved to Alaska. Our friendship had remained strong, even through her absence. She took one look at me and saw I needed support. Her caring for me made all the difference in the world. She ended up staying with me Jacques' last few months, and a few months after that, she lovingly shared Jacques' care and saw to it that I was taking care of me. But most of all, she listened. Whether it was talking about the current challenges or reminiscing past times, we talked for hours. We laughed. Her presence allowed me to vent all that pressure that had built up inside and have room in my chest to breathe again. This reminded me of my pressure cooker. To use a pressure cooker, you have to seal it, and the steam builds up to pressure inside so that the food cooks quickly. When the cooking is done, the pressure has to be released by cooling it and slowly opening the valve on the lid. The remaining steam hisses out, and only when the steam stops is it safe to open that lid without the risk of an explosion. My slow venting of all my pressure to Yvonne allowed me to stabilize, to breathe, to face what was coming, yet face it slowly, one moment at a time. If your pressure is building up, find a way to vent it slowly and safely. Find a friend, a counselor, a minister, someone who will just listen until you've vented all you need to so that you're able to be open again. If there's not someone readily available that you trust, start by pouring out everything into a journal. You'll discover that you can release built-up anger and guilt knowing that these qualities don't serve you. When all your steam is vented, you can breathe deep breaths again and focus on that moment. In that moment, you are alive, you are breathing, you are beautiful, and you are loved. Focus on that one moment at a time and release that pressure every time it starts to build up. You will discover it builds up less and less, and that it allows you the strength you need right now.